Well, Pat, we try to keep our Goodman delivery trucks in first-class running order, but I really wouldn't have bothered you with this truck's dented fender if you hadn't happened by the office.
Uh-huh. Was anyone in the truck at the time? Might be more serious than you think.
Well, no one I know of was in it.
How about the young fellow over there? He was driving?
Well, that's my son, Dave.
I'm working with my dad for the summer, but I wasn't in the truck.
That's too bad.
Why?
Well, if you were, we might have been able to claim whiplash and get Goodman's insurance to pay off.
Sounds a little fishy to me.
Well, if personal injury has been done, the person has a right to claim. And if the claim's good, why not get a few extra bucks? Especially if the injury's not too bad. Get what I mean?
Frankly, I'd prefer not to get that kind of operation.
Well, anyway, this fender is a little bent up. I can probably work a little deal to get insurance to help you. Just take it down to Record Auto Body. Tell him Pat sent you. They're an honest bunch of folks over there. Record Auto Body. Really honest.
Each year, automobile insurance rates continue to climb skyward. So much has this particular type of insurance been abused by many owning policies that the bulk of insurance holders are required to pay extra on their premiums to compensate for the losses of the insurance companies. Some people, failing to see the overall cost to the majority, feel the company has plenty of money and that it is set up to give away this money. They permit to develop in them a dishonest conscience. Although our program centers around an insurance incident, its real theme is the conscience and what the Christian Apostle Paul stated when he said, "We trust we have an honest conscience."
Record Auto Body.
Jim, this is Pat.
Oh, yeah, Pat. How are you?
I'm sending a truck from Goodman Printing. A kid should be driving. Got it?
Oh, yeah. Standard operation. Say, how much can we go for?
Oh, $250, maybe $3. No more.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Don't forget, I get 15% off the top.
Yeah, I won't forget. 15%.
Didn't something seem kind of strange to you, Dad? I mean, Mr. Sullivan recommending a specific company, especially if he figured the insurance wouldn't pay in the first place.
Well, that's why I want you to be very careful when you take the truck in, Dave. Now, some companies allow their agents to okay certain small claims, like this one, on the spot. It's held against our account, even if we could have handled it ourselves more cheaply.
Well, what good is that for the agent if he gives us the money?
More than one company has found its agents and adjusters taking cuts of expenses they approved, Dave. You see it happen often enough.
You mean they're pretty much dishonest?
No, I don't. I mean you have to be careful when they deal with you.
Well, what should I do?
Well, you have a Bible-trained conscience, Dave. If they try to add on repairs that are beyond the insurance claims or anything else that appears shady, you don't have to deal with them.
But Mr. Sullivan said they were honest people.
Well, I'm not saying they're dishonest, Dave. I'm telling you this because dealing like this is a relatively new experience for you. You have to be, like Jesus said, cautious as a serpent and innocent as a dove. Now, don't be blindly trusting everyone. Get all the facts. And if you have to deal with someone who will compromise his honesty, your conscience is well enough trained for you not to compromise yours. You understand, son?
Pretty bad.
It only looks like a dent in the front right fender to me.
Cars and trucks are a lot like people. Outside damage doesn't always tell the whole story.
Well, for example, the door is loose.
The door was that way before the truck ever got hit.
Be sure to include that on the bill, Will.
Right, Jim, got it.
What we want to know mainly is how much it might cost to get the fender straightened out.
Probably have to replace the fender. It's pretty well totaled.
Totaled?
The time I'd have to pay a man to straighten that out, I could have bought 2 new fenders.
It seems like a lot of work for nothing to me.
What do you think, Will?
I don't know, Jim. It may have a damaged front end. Wheels knocked out of alignment. You'd have to figure all that in.
So, how much will that cost?
Oh, I'd say about $250, $300 at least.
So much?
You work for Goodman's, don't you?
Yeah, for the summer.
Probably Need a little cash, eh?
Not particularly.
Well, I tell you, we like to help out you guys that bring us out work, you know what I mean. Guys who bring us the jobs.
All I did was drive the truck here.
Sure, but for us it's bread on the table. How about a little money, a couple of dollars here for all your trouble? Just call it car fare for you to get around while we fix the truck.
I don't think you and I are playing the same game, Mr. Matthews.
Go ahead, think about it. I'll make up my assessment forms. You can tell me when I get back.
What's the matter with you, kid? Aren't you interested in money?
Sure, but as funny as it sounds, I'd kind of like to stay out of trouble earning the money I make.
Who's gonna know? A few extra dollars on the side?
Among others, I guess my conscience would kind of get at me.
But how can a few dollars do that?
Well, look at it this way. How much work do you think it would really take you to straighten this fender out?
Oh, not long. A couple of hours on the outside. Then it'd have to be painted, take the scratches off to make it look right.
And you really mean to tell me that's $300 worth of work?
Well, there's a door.
There's nothing wrong with the door. Come on, you know that.
Well, maybe the front end's out.
I drove the truck 5 miles over here without the slightest bit of trouble.
Well, look at it another way. You have a deductible account. We charge you enough so that, well, we give you a little discount. Let the insurance pay for the whole thing. You know what I mean.
And because the accident looks so bad on paper, our premiums go up, if we even keep the account. Sounds sort of shady to me.
Look, I don't know about all that. I just work here, and I do what I'm told.
But you go along with it, don't you?
I don't get you, kid. I mean, what's the big deal? Insurance companies have got money. Why should it worry you? I mean, really, why?
If you want to know, I'll show you.
This has got to be good.
I've got it in the truck. It's in the Bible here. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2.
Yeah, what's this all about?
Oh, wait a minute, I'll show you. Here, you want to read it? 2 Corinthians 4th verse 2, right here.
All right, let's see. But we have renounced the underhanded things of which to be ashamed, not walking with cunning, neither adulterating the word of God, but making the truth manifest, recommending ourselves to every human conscience in the sight of God. So,
by renouncing the underhanded things which people would be ashamed of, making the truth manifest, we can have a clear conscience.
Well, I wouldn't call this exactly underhanded, at least not my conscience.
Is it so honest you wouldn't worry even if it were published in the newspapers and everyone knew?
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that.
That's our policy, Joe. You get it? Policy? Insurance?
Yes.
Anyway, service is our policy. No job too big, no job too small.
Well, I hated to bother with such a minor damage.
Oh, you never really know what minor damage is until you've had the car checked out thoroughly. That's why I usually have Record Auto Body do these small jobs. There could be a bent axle, crack in the engine block, you know, anything.
What do you mean the kid left? Sullivan sent him over here, didn't he?
I can't help that. It seemed like the kid thought we were charging too much and claiming work that didn't have to be done.
Oh, so what? The work had to be done anyway. Why not just go ahead and charge it to the insurance company? They can cover it. Everybody does.
Did you ever think that maybe, Jim, everybody doing it didn't always make it right?
None of my concern what other people do.
Well, look at it another way then. If we were asking for money for stuff we didn't do...
But we did it.
Well, let me finish. For work we didn't do because damage wasn't done in the first place.
With our arrangement going with Sullivan, why, who's to know the difference?
Maybe I am.
It never bothered you before.
Well, nobody ever made me think that I was a thief before.
What is this? The kid. Did he get to you?
Well, maybe my conscience begun to work on me.
Oh, well, you'll get over that.
Maybe I'd better not get over it. What's going to happen if somebody ever investigates all these jobs we were supposed to have done? Some of those insurance companies are going to be pretty upset.
Well, how are they ever going to know?
Maybe somebody will tell them.
Now, you better listen to me straight, boy. And if anybody says anything, it better not be you.
Well, Joe, it sure has been nice talking to you. Any other problems come up, let me know.
Well, don't worry, and I'll be glad to...
Dad, I think I'd better talk to you about this record auto body shop.
Well, did they refuse to fix it?
Oh, willing to fix it all right, Dad, and just about everything else on the truck.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
But charge it all to the insurance company? And this Jim Matthews offered me a little something on the side for my part of the deal.
They did that? At Record Auto Body?
Well, you recommended the place to us, Pat.
Well, yeah, but I don't know they'd try anything like this. Maybe it was a new man. I couldn't imagine.
I don't know whether they're new men or what, but I didn't have them do anything to the truck, Dad. I didn't think you'd want it.
Well, you did all right, Dave. We don't have to get involved in that kind of business.
Look, Joe, they're good friends of mine over there. They'll be willing to work out a deal and get the whole problem squared away. I'm glad to work out a little favor for a good customer and a great guy.
Favor? That kind of favor could have us both thrown into jail.
What, for a small claim like this one, Joe? Who'll ever know the difference?
But I thought you represented the insurance company.
Sure, but I also represent my customers. I'm looking out for their best interest, you know.
Pat, if you keep looking out for our best interest dishonestly, I'm not so sure you're going to have the Goodman's account. We like a man we can trust.
Wait a minute. I didn't mean to give the wrong impression. Of course I want to talk to Matthews, is it?
That's right.
Matthews, and find out what the story is. I'll see you, Joe.
Something sure smells fishy in that deal.
I thought so, too.
You know, Dave, this kind of reminds me of something Paul said in Hebrews. For we trust we have an honest conscience, as we wish to conduct ourselves honestly in all things. And you know, son, I have a feeling this Jim Matthews and Patrick Sullivan could be getting themselves into a lot more hot water than they imagined, if this is as shady as it seems.
How was I to know you were always overcharging? I trusted you. I thought you were an honest man. I mean, what happened to your conscience?
My conscience? Pat, look. Suppose your company had known about the 15% I have to give you off each job. What are they going to say about that? I have to make my profit somewhere.
All right, but who told the home office?
The only person I can think of is that Wilf Raynard.
What happened to him?
Oh, he got all upset the other day. It was after that kid from Goodman's left. He started talking something about conscience, and next thing I knew, he's leaving.
Well, now what are we going to do?
I don't know. You're the businessman. I only fix cars.
For whatever a man is sowing, this he will also reap. The man sowing with dishonesty may eventually expect to reap the results of his dishonest sowing, whether from a troubled heart or the eventual censure of authority.
The program, All Scripture is Beneficial, is produced by the Watchtower Society and presented by Jehovah's Witnesses.